You are given a string, let's call it S, and you're given an integer, let's call that K. This integer K, we'll call it the duplicate removal integer. And it's a variable that basically tells us how many adjacent equal letters we want to remove from S, and then concatenate the two sides of the string that are on either side of the part of the string that you've just removed. How would you implement that? Hi, everyone, and welcome to another mock interview with Exponent. My name's Nema, and we're here with Ravi today. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi Nema. Thank you for this. Thank you for this. And my name is Ravi. I am currently working as SD systems in one of the MAANG companies, and preferably mostly I have got an experience with cloud technologies, and prior to this, I also worked at another MAANG companies, and including a bunch of other technologies what I have worked on, from distributed systems, from retails, domains concerned, storage technologies. So I've got a fair bunch of experience, and I'm pretty excited to be here at Exponent.
Yeah, we're really excited to have you too. It's always great to have very experienced engineers showing us what you can do in the interview room, and it's valuable for all of us who are learning. Um, so let's dive right into the question. You are given a string, let's call it S, and you're given an integer, let's call that K. This integer K, we'll call it the duplicate removal integer, and it's a variable that basically tells us how many adjacent equal letters we want to remove from S, and then concatenate the two sides of the string that are on either side of the part of the string that you've just removed. So, as an example, let's say we've given you the word assassinate, and K is 2. So that means you're looking for adjacent equal letters of length of 2. So SS would be the first one that you encounter in this word. You'd remove it and then concatenate the two sides of the word that are remaining. And you keep doing this in the word from left to right until there are no such instances left.
Got it. Okay. All right.
So how would you implement
Uh,
that? I guess I never really gave you the question. How would you implement that?
yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So from the things that I captured, although that was a bit lengthy question, but I still managed to capture certain things. That there's a string which I have. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And let's call it something like S. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a string, and then we have K. Like these two are the important things which stood out for me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And K is an integer, let's say 2, which denotes that K number of adjacent strings are there within that string called S.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to identify those K adjacent strings and remove them, like kind of repeated removal, so that I cannot do it anymore. And whenever I remove that, I have to concatenate the adjacent part of the strings from the left and the right, and then start doing that all over again.
Yep, that's right.
All right. Makes sense. Makes sense. All right. So let me start thinking about this. So yeah, as I have already taken a string probably, and then a K, and then what I can do here is that okay, Nima, do you mind giving me one example here? I understand you gave in something like assassinate. So
Mm-hmm.
if I do understand it correctly, in fact, let me not ask you. I feel I do understand, have the fair sense of understanding here. I'm taking a negative case here, Nima.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the positive case you told me about as assassinate, which was pretty clear actually. So let's say if we have this situation where we have ABCD as the string and K equals to 2, and
Mm-hmm.
in this case, as I can see, there is no string or no adjacent string, I should say. So as I understand, the output here should be the string itself. That's ABCD.
Yep, that's right.
Great. Okay. So that confirms my understanding. Thanks for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, okay. So I'm thinking about this. And okay, one final thing which I wanted to clarify. Do you mind giving me, like, if there are certain constraints, like the string length, or maybe what can be the maximum K value or something?
Let's say that the maximum K value is the length of the string itself.
Okay.
Um, and string length, Let's not put any constraints on that. It can be as long. It can be very long.
Okay, fair enough. Got it. Cool. Okay, so now that this is clear, so what I'm thinking here is probably the brute force thing which comes to my mind, and I will take your example for this. So we have this thing called assassinate, and okay, please don't judge me on the spelling, but I'm not sure exactly, but I feel this is the one. What's for assassinate,
Hmm.
and let's say what I'm thinking is if we iterate through the string, if we start from the very first character, then we need certain way to compare that or take a count that if the characters what we are encountering are they similar or not, and if they are similar, so basically there should be a counter which should count the similar characters if they're equals to k or not. And the moment I find those k characters is what I'm thinking I will focus on your concatenation part which you talked about, that
Hmm.
I will take from where this identification started, that is this a part, and where it ends, like this a part, and just concatenate both of them so that the next thing what I have is double A S I N A T E.
Hmm.
Uh, yep. So that's how I'm thinking, and probably again I will start over all over again, and then again this double A will be removed. So I'll be left with this. So that's a brute force way what I'm thinking right now,
Okay.
and this what from what I'm judging it. In the worst case, this can go up to, as you said, like the string can be of any length, and k also can be of length of string. So from what I'm judging it, in the worst case, it can go up to O of m into n, where m is the length of the string, n
Hmm.
can be, in fact, it can go up to n square actually, because k can be the length of the string also.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that's not desirable. So, but yeah, I mean, that's a brute force way, which I just wanted to discuss.
Sure.
So, yeah, if that's not desirable, yep, I would definitely like to think about a better solution here.
Okay.
And in this particular context, so what I'm certain things which stand out for me here is that the order of the removal here doesn't matter. So basically, k as it can be length of the string also. So s, although here it is 2, it can be 100, it can be 1000 also, and it doesn't matter like if I remove this s or maybe another double s or any other thing which is occurring after this. The
Hmm.
idea is that even if I remove it in any order, I will still the idea is that I still need to operate on the rest of the string, like the other part and the part from where I started.
Hmm.
And when that doesn't matter, what I'm thinking is that uh, okay, so this is reminding me of something very similar to so I'm thinking of a data structure, appropriate data structure, and I think from what I think is that a stack is something which I'm thinking of. Why? Because uh, we have to iterate the
Hmm.
first thing, and while iterating, we have to keep track. We have to keep track of the latest character what we have encountered.
Hmm.
And the clue which I am thinking is the adjacent part. The question itself says that k adjacent characters. So
Hmm.
precisely what it is talking about, that although I mean you can see in the question itself that one s is here and then two s are here, but we are focusing on the adjacent characters only. And in order to keep track of adjacent character, a queue is something, sorry, a stack is something which is definitely the one which I will be using here,
Okay.
because yep, so precisely like as I encounter character, if I can start pushing it on the top of the stack, and then I can compare if the top of the stack is similar to the current character what I'm encountering. So that will be my comparison criteria. Now, the other thing which I have to focus on here is the count actually. So
Hmm.
precisely if I'm comparing the character, I have to reach a threshold also, that if the count is equals to what k is given or not. And I feel for that I will be using a separate list, okay, to keep a count. And from a list perspective, what I'm thinking, I will be making use of the ASCII based list, where my list size will be maximum 26 because there are 26 alphabets. And I'm assuming, again, I'm assuming as far as the constraint you gave me, that all of them are lower letters alphabets only.
Let's go with that. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So yeah. So precisely, I will have a stack where I will store the characters, how I'm encountering them, and at every step I will compare that if the current character is equals to the top of the stack, and if it is equal, even if it is not equal, and in either way also, I'll keep a counter in that list, where against each character index I will increment the counter as I'm encountering the same character or maybe an individual character. And whenever I compare, I get the same character, I'll see if the count of that character in the list, if that is equals to k, that's my indication that I have to remove it. And removal, I'll just use a pop operation. I'll remove the character from the top of the stack, and subsequently I'll proceed in this fashion.
Okay. All right. That sounds interesting. Let's try that out.
All right. Okay. Okay. So let's say I'll have this function. So uh, uh, identify adjacent, something like this, and then probably I'll start off from here. So let's say I have a string, something like assassinate, yes, and I have k equals to, let's say, 2. All right, and then probably I'll just make a call to this identify adjacent, okay, and I will obviously be passing my s and the k, okay. So once I make this call, okay, so now here is the actual function. So probably in this function, then I will be having, let me think. So first of all, obviously I'll have to declare a stack, and in Python, stack actually can be a list only. It depends on the operations I'm performing. So I'll have a stack here, and then I'll start iterating the string itself. So for char in s, so that's my iteration thing. Now, while I'm iterating, let me think about it. While I'm iterating, the first thing is I will have to check. I'll have to check if if the stack top, that's what is my focus. So stack top I can access using this notation in Python, and if it is equals to the current character, that is what I'm expected to check. And if that's the case, then probably I'll have this array also, like counter kind of thing, count. If that's the case, then probably what I should have is I'll have this count order of in fact it should go like this, order of char minus I think this is the notation. Okay, just a moment. Can we pause here, Nima?
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
What's up?
So I was actually thinking of the syntax of this order thing.
Yeah,
I
okay.
was just,
I actually don't know what the syntax is.
yeah. So I will quickly look it up. Not a problem.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
I'll
go ahead.
quickly look it up.
Also, what is I haven't written in Python in a few months now. What is the two references? I know the negative one. Why is there a one index reference as well?
Oh yeah, right.
Okay, okay. I was wondering, I was like, is this a matrix? I'm not
Yeah, right.
sure. Leave
No,
that
so
there. Leave that there
yeah,
so that when we continue, you can remove it and it won't just like jump and
okay.
disappear. Yeah, yeah.
Got it. So precisely what it is in fact, just to improve the solution, I was thinking that I can remove this array, and
Uh-huh.
in Python, I can have the item as a pair, that is the character and the count within the same item itself.
Okay, 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 okay.
Yeah.
I got it.
So
Okay.
precisely
Leave
the
it, yeah,
first
leave it there
thing.
for now and then you can remove it later. It's fine. Yeah.
Sure. All right. So
Um,
just a moment. I
yeah.
will quickly get my thing going here. Okay. Why? I think I had this. Uh, okay. On a different note, what I'm thinking here, in fact, I just happened to take this stack of top
Hmm.
because I feel something similar I had encountered some time back. So what I'm thinking is, instead of taking a separate data structure to maintain the count, uh,
Hmm.
I have this option of storing the values or items in a stack or in a list in a pair format. So
Okay.
what I can do is I can use the stack itself or the list itself to store both of them, in fact.
Okay.
So I don't need to use this thing because
Okay.
I'm actually using the stack itself. And so this is the format in which each item will be stored in the stack. All right.
Got it. Is there
So
any
what
other advantage to this other than just the kind of formatting that you're looking for, or are there other advantages to doing it like this?
so this is pretty much like some subtle advantages are that it makes the code more readable and
Hmm.
understandable also.
Okay.
And rather than having a separate data structure to maintain the count and getting other people also to maybe kind of think about following the other data structure, how the count is incrementing, we can
Hmm.
follow it kind of an in place, like in the same item we can have it just in a 0 and a 1 kind of an axis, where the 0 will be the character axis
Yeah.
and 1 will denote the count axis of that character.
Got it. Okay. I think I agree. I think this helps readability. All right. Let's go with that.
Sure. So what I'm doing here is I am checking with -1 that the top thing, and the top will be in this format. So
Okay.
0, as I said, will be the character. Okay. So I'm checking if the character at the top is similar. So precisely what I have to do is I have to increment the count for that, right? So the count will be accessible by the first index,
Hmm.
and I'll increment the count, right?
Hmm.
Now, once I've incremented the count, immediately the moment, what I'm thinking is we have to do a check that, because we are incrementing in counters of 1, and once we increment it, I have to check if it is equals to k or not.
Yep.
So I will probably do another if condition here, that if the count at the top, if that's equals to k, okay, if that's equals to k, then what I should be doing is I should be removing it. So for removal, I will use the pop thing.
Hmm.
So pop will remove the top of the stack. That's what it will do. Now, obviously, there will be a situation here where the top is not similar to the current character what I am encountering. And in that case, the else condition will go. And in that particular case, what I should be doing is uh, uh, probably just appending. Let me think. If I append it, so the top of the stack, there has to be adjacent only. That's when I'll be removing it. Yes, probably yes, yes, yes. That's right. So I will append it. Yes. So what will happen is that if I use this append thing,
Hmm.
I will be appending it in the form of a pair, as I said. I mean this pair. So the pair is in the form of a list. So
Yep.
that's how it will go. And the character and 1. That's how it will go. So probably what's happening here is that uh, let's say I'm doing a dry run here. I encounter A. I
Hmm.
I see. Okay, there is an edge condition here. I forgot to talk about it or think about it. So probably in the first place, the stack will be empty for us. And
Yeah.
if I just directly go to this condition, it might throw an error here, right?
Yeah.
So either I can do like this, I can perform a check, or on a more better optimized way, I'm thinking is I probably can just have a dummy value, like while initializing itself, I can have a dummy value in stack. Okay.
Okay.
And that will help me remove that check. I don't need to perform this extra check. Okay. But either thing is okay. I mean, I
Okay.
for simplicity, in fact, I'll remove this. So yeah, I'll have this check that if the stack is there, and the top of the thing. So right now in the first place, it's not there. We'll go to the
Hmm.
else condition. It will make an entry, and then we'll go here. S is the next thing. I'll check the stack is not empty, and the top of the stack is not equals to the current character, obviously. So it will make an entry for S also. Similarly, again, it will encounter S, and then it will go inside the if. It will increment the top of the stack count. So
Hmm.
S will become 2 now, and it will
Okay.
check now that if
Okay.
that count is equals to K, that's 2. Yes, it will pop it. Great. Okay. So this is working. All right. So once I'm done with this, okay. So I'm just trying to collate this thing, or move forward further ahead. So once I have popped this, I'll move to the next character. That's A again. And now my top of the stack becomes A because this S entry was removed. So it will check, yes, it is equals to the top of the stack,
Okay.
and it will increment the count. So A's count also becomes 2. It will check it's equals to K. It will pop A. So my stack is now empty. Perfect. And uh, I will start it from S. So, okay. So my purpose of not going back in the string, that is being achieved. That's what I can see, that every time I'm popping a character, I don't have to go back and start from the very beginning. It's like
Hmm.
my iteration still resumes from the point where I left. So
Hmm.
that is an improvement over O of n square. That's what I'm thinking. And probably once I resume from this S, there is no other character which is adjacent. So it will always go in this else loop. It
Okay.
will create the entry for each of these characters with a
Hmm.
count of 1. Okay. And that's where it will end. Okay. And now I have to return the resulting string. That's the next part. So let me come out of this for loop. And for this, what I'm thinking is probably I will be using this. Let me think about it. So I can I can probably, just a moment. Yeah, I can. What I'm thinking about here is that I can simply use a return condition here. So what can happen is I will use this return thing, return, and then I can. So I was actually thinking, Nima, that then again iterate over the stack and then probably append to the string. But since string is immutable in Python, so what that will be inefficient, what I'm thinking, because I'll every time I'll have to create a new string if I'm appending to the same string,
Yeah.
and that will not be super efficient. So I'll probably use this join operation in
Okay.
Python, which is actually efficient. It is not creating, a new string every time. And with this join, now what I have to do is simply I have to just put it in a way of char count, char into count. In fact, yes, that's what I will do. For char count in stack. Uh,
Okay.
yes. So what this will do is iterate over. So I understand. I know for a fact that the items in stack are in the form of a pair.
Hmm.
So I'm iterating, or I'm iterating over each item, and I'm taking them in a pair. So the first one will be character and the count. And in Python, we have a very handy thing that if we want to have a combined thing, like what this will do is, let's say if I have S into 1, then similarly it will do for I into 1, or even if it would have been 2, so it would have done like I. So that's what it will, the into thing will do. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So in this case, everything is 1. So it will do like this, NATE. And with join, I am just joining all of them. So it will be something like a simple string.
Got it.
Yeah. And
Cool.
that is
Let's
what
run
I am
this
regarding.
and see what we get.
Yep, sure. So I have my inputs here, right? Yes, I have my inputs. And if I run this, okay, did it not? Oh, I have to print it, right?
Yeah.
Yes. If I just use this print statement here. Mhm. All right. Yes, I think that is what it is achieving. This is what is happening here. I'll just paste it.
Yeah.
Do you see it now? I
Got it.
pasted
I
in the
see it.
code window.
Yeah.
So in the first place, this one, or the line number 43, I did not use the print statement. So it gave me an empty thing. And
Mm-hmm.
after that, when I use the print, it is giving me the expected value. And just to see that I am on 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 track with what is the right code here,
Mm-hmm.
I will just change the input one time, and I'll
Okay.
use it ABCD. And yes, this is what I'm getting right now. Just let me paste it
Oh, I
again.
see the output now. I don't know why it wasn't showing before.
Great. Yes.
Um,
So
yeah, got it.
I think it covers both the positive and the negative cases here. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think this makes sense. Um, I think this is a good place to stop. Thank you, Ravi. What did you think about this question, and what kind of advice would you give other people who encounter something like it?
Sure. Yeah. I think the question was pretty good. I mean, it's a medium level problem if I would have to rate it,
Mm-hmm.
but still requires some good amount of logical thinking and knowledge of data structures and all. All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And from an advice point of view, what I'm thinking, Nima, is that these are some general things which I encountered. I have been taking a lot of interviews at the MAANG companies. I have myself been a candidate at the other end. So certain things which I feel is like for the entire process, like it starts from the very time you introduce yourself to the interviewer. So
Mm-hmm.
make sure to have make a good impression there, like start from your recent experience, talk about it in a bit more like kind of the tech stack you are using or whatever your role is there. And once the introduction is done, probably once the question comes, the very first thing which I feel is important is have a complete clarity of the question, like make sure you understand the question pretty well,
Mm-hmm.
maybe rephrase it in your own words, talk it back to the interviewer, and confirm that you understand it well. Ask for examples as I did, just to confirm that yes, it is what you understand it to be. Both positive and negative examples would be great. And then always start or talk about, maybe you can take a couple of minutes and be vocal about it to think about the solution or of the approach. And you can tell to the interviewer that maybe I will take a couple of minutes to think. And then once you start with the approach, maybe just start with the brute force. That's the very first
Yeah.
suggested way. Be verbal about it. If the interviewer asks to implement the brute force, go ahead and implement it, but at least be verbal about it. That will give an indication that you are directly not jumping to a ready-made solution, but talking about or building upon your thought process. And once you have talked about the brute force, ask politely that do you want me to implement it. Most probably they will not ask you to implement it.
Mm-hmm.
And then build on top of that to show the interviewer that how you arrived at the optimized solution. Think out of the box, think about different data structure, different techniques which exist out there, maybe different patterns, sliding window, two pointer, I mean, just to name a few. So yeah, probably all of
Yeah.
them. And in the end, just which something which I forgot, like my time complexity of the code is O of n, and
Mm-hmm.
be vocal about that also to state the time and the space complexity. Okay. And I think that those are pretty good things, which will make a good impression.
Yeah. I think this is all really great advice. I definitely picked up on when at the beginning of the question. Sometimes I make questions pretty wordy because Honestly speaking, the one of the main things that engineers are going to have to do in their careers is communicate effectively to people. So if you're bombarded with confusing information and a lot of information at the beginning of an interview, it's fine. Take a deep breath, show the interviewer that you can parse that slowly or ask questions, clarifying questions if it doesn't make any sense to you. And it's okay if in the first go you don't really get what's going on with a very wordy and heavy question. It's okay. Just like you can totally say, let's just please take a step back. I think I picked up on some of the things at the beginning of the question, but I'd love to break it down with you and make sure that I'm understanding every requirement clearly before we move to the next step. So good job on doing that. And I also want to call out that at the beginning when you're talking through your brute force solution, when you were talking through the examples as well, it was very helpful that you illustrated that example by writing the word down. You were like wrote down ABCD, wrote down assassinate, and tried to demonstrate what the output would be to really confirm that you are producing what the interviewer wants you to produce at the end of whatever function you're going to implement or whatever you're going to code you're going to write. So I think that's extremely helpful, and it's good for the interviewer to also know that they're communicating the right thing to you in the right way. So yeah, very great job, Ravi. I'm sure this is going to be really valuable to everyone watching at home. So thank you so much for being here with us and for doing a mock interview.
My pleasure, Nima. Thank you so much for your support and this session, and looking forward to people taking the maximum out of this session.
Absolutely. Thanks, everyone, and good luck with all of your interviews.
Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons below to let us know that this video was valuable for you. And of course, check out hundreds more videos just like this at tryexponent.com. Thanks for watching, and good luck on your upcoming interview.